at issues affecting them, social, political issues unfolding in Liberia. So, wherever you find yourself, we have with us today as guests two distinguished Liberian. One is based in Canada, and the other is based in Liberia. Anil Cruz, a rape survivor. She will be telling us her story because we are still putting highlights us on this issue of rape in Liberia. And also, we'll be speaking with Laymah Kollie, on situation unfolding in Liberia. So wherever you find yourself, this is KMTV. My name is Nathan Charles on today's program. So any moment from now, we'll be joining our guest on to this edition of the program. But before that, let's give you some highlights what's unfolding in Liberia. The issue of rape protesters gathered in Liberia over the last 30 days, calling on the George Weah government to ensure that, hey, the issue of rape is curtailed. The issue of rape, children being raped, is minimized in Liberia, and they want the government of Liberia to ensure that, hey, rape is a pandemic. It is on our hands. Like how you declare COVID a national pandemic, we want to ensure that, hey, our people are secure, our people are safe. So that's the kind of situation unfolding in Liberia. People want justice. People want people who done this thing to be put to hurt, to be persecuted. We listened to President Weah a few years ago. He declared himself as a feminist in chief, as you see on the poster there. He for she, he has spoken a lot of these programs to support, protect women in Liberia. He's the president. People want him to come out. That's the kind of situation in Liberia. So we have with us our first guest. We'll be talking to Arnold Cruz. She's a rape survivor. She's based in Canada and the author of the book, The Life Story of Arnold Cruz, a girl from Africa. She will be joining us very shortly. But now we have with us our first guest, Laymah Kollie. She's the program and she's the communication director at the Passion for Youth Education Foundation, a local group helping building the talents of Liberian. Welcome to this special interview, Laymah. How are you doing?
I'm good, and I'm honored to be on your noble platform this evening.
Tell me more about this group, Passion for Youth. What are you engaged into?
Passion for Youth Education Foundation, PATH, is a non-for-profit organization relations, advocating, and educating around the world. Passion for Youth Motivation. We currently have our online training. We are mindset is the most area that you can ever educate somebody, or you can empower them that they can live for the rest of their life. I teaching in that session. We are teaching project proposal. We are teaching entrepreneurship. We are teaching a lot of courses there. Current Passion for Youth Education Foundation to have other community in advocating for youth, especially people of the victims of other cases, especially rape and stuff.
Okay, great to hear that. But why are you working with youth? What's your focus? What was your mission?
With you, as youth are the leaders for today and the leaders for tomorrow. Many may say that are the future leaders, but I can tell you for free that youth are the leaders for today, because everything that you will experience tomorrow, everything that you do tomorrow. From now on, anything and doing anything good for yourself, definitely you have a good life tomorrow. So building the mindset of these people is so cardinal to us. These youths, they are currently, we believe in their empowerment, because right now Liberia is complaining of rape, it's complaining of a lot of cases. We have poor economic growth in the country and stuff like that. But how can these issues be from one is really true the future people? But what are we doing to prepare for this position? You see, many leaders today have been classified that because of that, some of them choosing based on friendship, some of them based on, oh, I supported you, so you why we build a way that we all can have a better Mama Liberia and a better lives.
So basically, give us a real idea of your training. You spoke of this online training. Let somebody just hearing an online training. It's a new platform in Liberia. We used to our chalk and going on the board and writing ourselves. How is it done? Give us a vivid picture of it. And who are those youth you working with? From where? In Montserrat, or where are they from?
All walls of life. We do not discriminate anyone's passion. You also have on WhatsApp. It's an online training on WhatsApp, and we put on the vacancy. Whosoever wants to be part, you apply and you can be a part. We do not choose people that oh, this person should be part, this person should not be part. Everyone can be a part of it because one person cannot make the world a better place. We have to make ourselves, we will have to make everything better. And in so doing, we cannot do it alone. We need everyone from every walks of life. We work with you. Even if you are, people will say, oh, you are vulnerable, you are disabled. We work with you.
Okay, that's great. Let's get your own reaction. You are female. The issue of rape is in Liberia. What's your own reaction to the issue of rape and sexual and gender-based violence, and what can government do, or what is government not doing to curtail such?
The issue of rape in Liberia is something that we condemn. We condemn it in the hardest term. We condemn it with all of our might, our strength. We condemn it. And we, Passion for Youth Education Foundation, PATH, we want to see that the rape law of Liberia be reversed and dependent for rapists, whether first degree rape, second degree rape, as long as it has something to do with rape, that person should be penalized by death. We want death penalty for every rapist. Whether it is a first degree rape, not a first degree rape, second degree, third degree, we want death penalty. Because our sisters, our friends, their futures are spoiling. Even Mama Liberia future is spoiling. We all need to work together to make Liberia a better place. But why these people are being raped? It's not something good for us. We condemn it in the hardest term, and we are recommending to the national legislature. We are also recommending to the president of the Republic of Liberia, in person of President George Manawia, to meet with his officials that they can enforce the death penalty for rapists in Liberia. Because if someone may say,
That's too harsh.
oh,
Someone
I
will
rape
argue
her
that's too
because she
harsh.
was sexy, I rape her. What about the babies? What about the children? I
So
understand, but what about the babies? The babies that they are raping 2 years old, are they attractive too? Are they attractive? No, they are not attractive. But they are doing these things. Men are doing these things to destroy the future of the younger generation. So I
okay,
did not get
so
you.
Yes, so I mean your argument is you want death penalty. Our laws, we have laws on the book. Criminal Code E has
I'm
been
not getting
established.
you.
Apparently it's a network. So for our viewers, this is KMTV Diaspora Talk. We are talking to the communication director of Passion for Youth Educational Foundation, and very soon we'll also be talking to Anil Cruz, a Liberian based in Canada. She will be showing more light on this. And Arnelle has a relationship with the issue of rape. She's a survivor, and she has lived and she's living in her trauma ward. So let's see if we can bring on our guest from Canada. And we'll hold you there, Laymah, Kollie, and let's see if we can bring Arnold Cruz from Canada. Hey, good afternoon or good evening.
It's afternoon over here, so I'll take that.
Okay. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Welcome to KMTV, and we're discussing the issue of rape and sexual violence in Liberia. Let's know, who is Arnelle Cruz? Tell our audience first.
Well, my name is Arnold Cruz. Um, I'm from Liberia, West Africa, but now living in Canada as a Canadian. I migrated to Canada as a refugee, and then in 2004, I was on Canadian Idol. And then in 2011, I was on Canada Got Talent. And then in 2012, I decided to write my story, a story about my life. The reason why I decided to write that because I was going through a lot of pain in my life because of my past, a lot of unanswered questions as to why these things happened to me, a lot of what if I wasn't there, what if my mom didn't send me, what if my mom protected me. There was a lot of what if. And I say to myself, if you don't explain your story, if you don't tell some child your story for them to read about it, they're going to be going through this pain and trauma, thinking that they're the only one in the world experiencing this. And able for this to stop, we need to speak out. It wasn't easy for me. It was very emotional. It was also very hard because a lot of, dark secrets came out that I know family member would try their hardest to put a stop to it so that the message is not heard. And I was scared for a bit. And then I tell myself, I say, if you continue being scared, you're never going to tell your story. If you continue being scared, being rejected, you already rejected. So what more can you fear in this life but to say the truth and to bring awareness and to also let these kids know that it is not their fault, because a lot of time when you get raped, because when I got raped, my mom said it was my fault that I got raped. And she called me a prostitute. And I was hurt that my mom did not see my pain. She did not try to even be sympathetic. At the end of the day, it was all about her interests and what she didn't get, due to the fact that she was already selling me to another guy so the guy can take my virginity. And then this Lebanese man come from nowhere, rape me and take my virginity. So she felt like she lost, So it was about what she was losing and what I already lost. I lost my commitment to God because I made a promise to God that I was going to remain a virgin until I get married. Because when I was learning the Bible, I learned that, no sex before marriage, and unwanted pregnancy and all those things that come with sex before marriage, So I wanted.
Let's hold you there, Arnelle. I mean, you said something. You was raped by a Lebanese, and we want to know. Can you really explain better how did that happen? How did you feel? We want to know that. And you spoke of your mom selling you.
Yeah. So where the Lebanese guy was staying, it was on 12th Street Singer. And my mom friend was also staying on 12th Street Singer, right? So their house, the Lebanese guy house and my mom friend house were just across from one another, just across the road. So my mom was already selling me to her friend. And the friend brother was the one that told me that your mom is receiving the dowry for you with my brother, right? And I was shocked because I know my mom had dated this brother, so I saw the guy more like a father than a lover, you know. Me trying to escape after the night that he kissed me was what got me into that other situation where I put my trust in some Liberian female. The first Liberian female protected me, but the second one was the one that sold me to the Lebanese guy when she discovered I was a virgin and that I've never had any sexual experience. So she told the Lebanese guy, because apparently the Lebanese guy loved little kids, like younger kids. So the Lebanese guy used to see me sitting at our house all the time when I was trying to get protected from my mom's friend. I would go over to this girl's house and I would sit there, and wait till late before I go home. So the Lebanese guy told her he was interested in me. And that's how she set me up, sold me to the guy for money, and lied to me that he was a 50-year-old boy. And took me over to his house and said this 50-year-old boy wants to say hi, even though I saw this guy the first time and I said to her, this guy looked like a man. She said, no, the Lebanese children, they eat good food, that parents get a lot of food so they just get fat. That just fat, he just fat, but he's not a man. Right? So he was 36 years old. And I was 13.
And how old are you?
13, and he was 36.
Wow.
So, yeah. So she took me to the compound, and they had everything planned. But when you were a child growing up, you are really innocent to the wickedness of this world. So you don't know how easy it is for a person you trust to betray you, right? So this girl needed money, so she decided to sell me. And when we went to the guy's compound, his security let us in. He wasn't home. So it was all set up. She knew when he was going to be home. So she took me early so that she can meet me there, right? The guy's father, they do have a t-shirt store down Waterside. Okay. The guy is Isam Abdallah. A lot of people know Isam Abdallah in Liberia.
Isam Abdallah, he's still in Liberia.
I don't know if he's still in Liberia. It's been a while since then. But his father, the Abdallah, they got a lot of properties in Liberia. They got place in Bata. They got place in Singer. They got a lot of properties in Liberia. They even own a store down Waterside. I don't know if they still own the store down Waterside. But it's Isam, Issam Abdallah, Abdallah. Isam Abdallah. So Isam was the one that took my virginity. And I do live without pain and regret. And a lot of time I feel like I'm not good enough because I was raped and lost my virginity. So I feel like sometimes useless. I suffer from a lot of struggle. I suffer with trust issues. I suffer with resentment issues. I just learning down to heal. And because of what Isam did to me, I never know what it is to date a guy naturally. All I ever knew was sex. You meet a guy, you have sex with a guy. That's what I knew. So I became a very sexual person. And what a lot of the mothers doing in Liberia is wrong. You see a lot of the mothers, they be praying to God for a girl child, not because they really want another them, but it's because they want to sell that girl, Once she started to develop breasts, and at that time I didn't even have, like, I'm not a big chested person, so at that time I barely had breasts on my chest. You know how when a girl's breast develop, it just got a little C,
No, I don't know that. I've never been a female.
When you study biology and the breast, the girl starts to grow seed, like a little, it's like a little seed right to the nipple before it
So,
starts to
so you
expand.
was just 13 years old when you got raped by your 36 years old man in Liberia. And let's look at that trauma. What was, do you recall what was happening to you during that moment or afterward?
Of course, I remember everything. The girl took me there and she said that she left the candle on her daughter in the room, so she want to go back to her house because she was living next door, right? And her house was in a Zingra house, and he had the fence up compound. So I told her, let me come with you. And she said, no, stay right here, I'll be right back. But I was scared. I've always been, like, growing up, I always tried to protect myself, but I think I didn't try harder because I read about Diana in the Bible when she made bad friends, and their friends better raped her and took her virginity. So I should have known not to trust someone who's not worshiping God faithfully, you know? So I think me just looking for some kind of protection for me at the time, because my mom was not protecting me, that led me to create trust outside my home. So the girl said she would be right back, left me there. You know, I wanted to follow her. She said, I swear upon my daughter's life. So you see how sometimes parents can put curse. Like in the future, I would need to find that daughter and pray that God forgive that child's future. Or else that child is gonna grow up without a curse, because my virginity was lost upon her life because her mom swear upon her daughter's life that she was never gonna leave me there. And she left me there. So when she left me there, this Lebanese guy come home, right? And the security opened the gate for him. He gets in. He's like, where is your friend? And I said, oh, she gone to take the candle off. She's going to be back and get me. So I'm just waiting for her to come and get me. And he said, okay, well, I'm going to go take a shower. So I was waiting in the living room, and this guy took his own time, you know, showering himself. Like, he wasn't in a rush, because the fact that she left me there, he knew already that the trap has already been set. You know, he knew already that there was no way of me leaving because that girl wasn't coming back. So he took a shower and everything, and then he came outside in the tower, and I started to shake and get scared, right? Having this tall person, you know, naked with just towel on, nothing underneath. I was scared, but still a little bit brave enough, and I told him, you need to go put some clothes on because I'm not comfortable with you just having a towel. And then he said to me, it is my house, I can do whatever I want. So that message told me already that I was in trouble. So I said to him, well, since it's your house, I'm going to leave. You know, I'm not going to be here for you to be walking around in tower, right? And then he said, well, you can leave. Let me see if the security is going to open the gate for you, right? So then I went to the security. It was an older Liberian guy. So Liberians are not protecting the children in general, because it wasn't like it was a Lebanese security. This was a Liberian older guy that had children and grandkids. You know what I mean? And I was allowing that guy to raise people kids in that compound. So I went to the guy, asked him to open the gate for me, and the guy said, I'm sorry, I don't want to lose my job. If I open this gate for you, I'm going to get fired. So because he was trying to keep his job, he rather me get raped instead of him losing his job. So a lot of times I blame the sadness, the people like because of poverty. Like people do anything to save themselves instead of others because of poverty. Because if that guy had other job opportunity, he's not going to sit there and allow that Lebanese guy to be raping people kids in there. You know, so when the guy refused to open the gate, I went to the fence to where her house was, and I could hear she and her mom, they were having a conversation outside under the tree, and I was screaming this girl name, her name was Lapu. I was screaming Lapu name on the top of my lungs, and she heard me, and Lapu acted as though she didn't even hear me at all. Like I wasn't even there, like I didn't exist, because she already got paid. So then with frustration, I went back inside and still waiting for this girl to come get me. And then the Lebanese guy offered to give me apple and grapes, and I told you I wasn't interested in that. I'm waiting for my friend to come and get me. He said, well, then you're gonna keep waiting, right? So it started to get late. And then because growing up, I wanted to become a computer engineer. I was so fascinated with computer. Like, how can something that looks like a TV, you can tell it what to do. You can, like, there was so many things about computer that I wanted to learn about. So I told myself, when I grow up, I'm going to become a computer engineer. So this guy said, would you like to use my computer while you wait for your friend? I said, okay, sure, where's your computer? He said, oh, it's in my room, right? But in the back of my mind, I did not think that going to his room was even going to endanger me even further. Like, this guy wasn't going to take any chances of me getting out of there, and he wanted to get a job done really quick. So the easy way is to distract me with the computer. So he asked me if I would like to use his computer. I said, sure. He directed me where his room was, and the computer was all the way in his room, So, and my back was turned, because where the computer was facing, your back would be turned to the bedroom door. So I did not see when he was walking into the bedroom, because my back was turned. I thought I was safe, I was okay. So I got on the computer, and I used to like playing solitaire, a card game on the computer. So I was playing solitaire when this guy walked in and locked the bedroom door and threw the key behind the bed. So I'm like, what? Then when he locked the door, that's when I realized that someone was in the room. And I turned around and said, why did you lock your door? Then I got up right away and I said, open your door, I want to leave. Right? And he refused to open his door for me to leave. And then he pushed me on his back, and I told him, if you touch me, I'm going to tell my mom. And he said, well, your mom going to say, what are you doing in my bedroom? So I knew that day there was no way I could fight to protect myself or my virginity. So this guy took his towel off the minute he removed his towel. I covered my face because at that time I've never seen a guy naked before. I've never seen a naked or naked teenager, So I covered my face, and he said, "Why are you covering your face? It's not a snake. It's not going to bite you." So I was like shaking, where your legs get out of control. I was shaking, and then Isam got on top of me. Like he was really heavy. You talking someone who's 250 pounds? Like this guy was really heavy. I can so imagine that. And he removed my pants, and I was so struggling underneath him. He removed my panties. But all the time when my face was covered, this guy was putting on his condom, because it's like he knew what he was doing. That a lot of time when the girl loses her virginity without protection, she gets pregnant. So this a routine thing for this guy with other kids. So he know what he was doing. So he inserted me and took my virginity, and it hurts so bad, like someone tearing you up.
Wow, that's a sad story to go through. Laymah, you in Liberia. What's the situation there currently as it relates to rape? Oh, okay. Seems to be we're having some technical issue with Laymah. We're talking to for our viewers. We are talking to Arnelle Cruz. She's based in Canada, a Liberian rape survivor, and she's now telling her story. She has gone on a couple of rehabilitation counseling, and she's now telling the story. She wrote a book. Let's hear from you about that book and the level of counseling you have gotten since you went to move over to Canada, because I guess there was no counseling since the situation in Liberia.
No.
Let's see if we get just a minute. Laymah, are you back? What's the situation as it relates to rape and other sexual assault in Liberia? Because you've been working with a couple of youths. What have they been telling you? You listen to Arnelle's story.
I did not get you, Claire.
I said you've been working with a couple of youth, listening to Arnelle's story. What's the situation currently in Liberia?
The situation currently in Liberia, you have similar in her case, and you have others different from her case. But actually, her case is a sad case, and this is the reason why we are pushing that the rape law of Liberia, the penalty for rapists, whether whole year, 10 years penalty for rapists, or whether a lifetime imprisonment for rapists, this all should be cut down to death sentence. Not death sentence, but death penalty. Death penalty for rapists. Because urging their girls to do these things. To be at the age of 10, 15 years and start to feed the home.
Yeah.
Which of course is not their just rape case. And many of them
It seems to be we're having some internet issue with Laymah. I know the situation in Liberia. Let's get back to you, Arnelle. Tell us how did you overcome this to tell your story?
So I didn't have no counseling in Liberia. First of all, when my mom discovered that I was raped, now the guy she was selling me to was upset that he's been investing so much money, because he used to give my mom $300 a month in a bag of rice, every month. Like, he was basically responsible for us.
That was in which year? That was in which year?
99.
Oh, okay.
So he was basically responsible for us, taking care of us because of me. So when I got raped and lost my virginity, his interest in supporting the family was lost. So my mom was upset that she's not going to be receiving money from this guy anymore, because I lost my virginity to someone else and not the guy. Because if I had lost my virginity to that guy, and my mom was selling me to, then the price is even higher. Because now she can say, well, you took my daughter's virginity, so you got to marry her. She would be getting more money. So it was all about what she was losing and what I was losing. And when my mom found out I was raped, in fact, her friend told her that he heard that the Lebanese guy drugged me and raped me. But that wasn't the case. I was never drugged. If I was unconscious, then maybe I wouldn't know what happened. I would just be the effects. But I remember everything because I wasn't drunk, and my mom, there was no sympathy there. It was more, she was angry at the fact that she lost her trade with this guy than what I lost as her daughter. And it was really upsetting. She beat me up so bad, like a thief. She beat me to the belt was in pieces, her friend belt. She called me a prostitute. But then at the end of the day, after my rape situation, because now that she knows she wasn't going to get money from her friend, so then she called police for the Lebanese guy, right? Because now she wants to take a guy to court to get more money, So she called police for this Lebanese guy, but the Lebanese guy found somewhere that my mom knew, right? Because her friend's security and the Lebanese guy's security were friends. They used to communicate. So when I went to the house, my mom went there and all hell broke loose. So the security heard that my mom knew already now about the rape. So he told the Lebanese guy security, the Lebanese guy ran away to Lebanon for 6 months. And for that 6 months, my mom used to beat the shit out of me, cuss me up. In fact, after she learned I was raped, my mom said because the Lebanese guy raped me, so it means automatically that as a way to just put me down. Like, such a terrible lie. She said, I contacted AIDS because of the rape. When she never even, first of all, the guy raped me, he pulled his condom, he wasn't in a rush. because it was in his house. You know what I mean? And then secondly, she never even took me to the hospital after that to get any medical treatment. I had to heal on my own. My mom told me I wasn't allowed to shower in the bucket anymore that she, my brother and sister used.
So she hid this from the law in Liberia.
No, she called the police to go to his house to arrest him, all because she wanted to take him to court for money. It wasn't because she cared about me being raped. She never took me to the hospital for treatment, nothing.
So did the police also provided you treatment for hospital?
No, I didn't go to the hospital. My mom didn't take me anywhere. I had to heal at home on my own. You know, she only took the police to the guy's house because she wanted to have him arrested so that she can make money. Like, you know, take him to court and find like reason for him to pay her money for me because he was a Lebanese businessman. So it wasn't because she cared about me and how I felt. And it wasn't because she wanted me to be okay. It was about, okay, I just lost on this side. What can I get on that side? You get it?
Okay, let's hold you there. Let's go to Laymah Kollie to wrap up with her. Laymah, because I know it's already late in Liberia now. If you were to proffer or give a suggestion to the government of Liberia on tackling this issue of rape, looking at the story in Bapolu County, looking at what's happening in Monrovia, in Grand Cape County, what will be that message? And what's your message to youth as a whole in reporting or curtailing rape?
My message to the government of Liberia is that rapists should be killed. Whether it is first-degree rape, second-degree rape, gang rape, whatsoever rape it might be, they should be killed. Because everyone values life. So if someone is being killed because they rape, another person will be scared. But if they see that and they are not raped, many people take advantage of the penalty for rape now in Liberia. People say 10 years, you have 10 years lifetime. People see it as a freedom that they go somewhere that they are not doing anything. Just say they eat food and do nothing. So they are raping all around. Some people feel like they don't have job. They don't have anything doing. So they just rape and go sit and go to prison where they will eat free food and they just be there and live the rest of their life. But when these people are being killed, knowing that rape is not good. Everyone wants to live. So when they are being killed, the issue of rape in Liberia will be minimized. And to our youths out there, raping someone else's child is not a plus. It's not something that you should, it's not a channel for you to pass through to go wherever you want to go. Because for one fact, it can be anyone else. It can be your mother. It can be your sister, your brother, and anybody else. Even your daughter that you may love to the best of your ability. And someone else is rape her. How will you feel? We need to save ourselves. We need to be the protector of each other's. You cannot allow anybody in this country to just rape another person or rape you and you feel fine. Let's minimize the issue of rape. We are all young people. The rape cases going around here, you have majority, they are young people. So we are supporting our own future. We continue to say that we are the future leaders. And of course, we are not the future leaders. We are already in our future. If you can be in your 20, your 21, and you are saying you are future leader, what future are you waiting for? We need to start now preparing for the future. And in so doing, we need to protect each other. Security personnel will not do everything. Our friends out there, they compromise cases of rape. Our families, our mothers, our brothers, they compromise this. You will see uncle raping niece. You see father raping daughter. And the mother will want to save her relationship. At the end of the day, she won't say anything to it. Are you saying that your husband or your boyfriend is so important than your child? Is this why you are trying to tell the word? Our mothers need to stand up for us. Our brothers need to stand up for us. Our sisters, our family members. Let's stop compromising the issue of rape in this country. It hurts so much to see people being raped, children being raped, 32 years old, and you are compromised. Who knows who that child could be? Whether the next president of the Republic of Liberia, whether the next justice minister, finance minister, what help that child will bring to the country, you don't know. And you are compromising it in your own interest because you feel you want to save relationship. Like what she was saying, her mother wanted money. She felt that money was everything to it. So what if she could have lost her life in rape? What if she could have lost her life at this time? She couldn't be in Canada. She couldn't be where she is right now, or what she's doing, and she couldn't do it. So our parents need to stand up for us. Let's leave the issue of poverty, the issue of money, and making our sisters, our daughters feel this way. We are not the cause of any problem in Liberia. We are not the cause of you not getting money. For one fact, a parent should prepare before having a child. So if you come out and you did not prepare and you start to born children, you don't expect us to be feeding you. Let's stop the compromise these things. Let's put ourselves together. Liberia is all we have. Our future is all we have. No one will live for you. You live for yourself. Do the best thing. Our mothers are very into
Okay.
this. I'm very calling on them to please change their attitudes.
I see that you're so passionate about this.
Let us stop scaring
I
us.
think about they can talk for the next 4 hours. We must say thank you, the communication director for
Our
Passion
mothers.
for You Education Foundation. We must say thank you for sharing the platform with us. We will talk another time. We say thank you. Enjoy yourself from Monrovia, and let's keep the fight. Keep educating the people in Liberia. And Arnelle is saying hi to you from Canada.
Thank you, Laymah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the passion, the energy, the vibe to fight against this because the mothers, especially, this message go out to you guys. Stop selling your kids. Stop selling your kids. Your kids should not be your provider. Like Laymah said, you should provide for the child. The child is not responsible for you.
Okay, so have a good night, Liman. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. And I want to say thank you for keeping that conversation. You are so strong because if it was some people they could have killed themselves by now. But you kept strong, you kept moving on,
There
and
was
you
a
are
time.
very strong enough to share your story without crying. Very strong enough. I am so proud of you. Thank you.
There was a time, Laymah, that I almost did kill myself. If it wasn't because I knew God and I God go against that, and if I didn't learn about God, I was going to kill myself. I reached to that point where I almost gave up. And I had a friend of mine, a white Canadian lady, that was 8 years old, went to spend time with her own uncle, and the uncle raped her and took her virginity at 8 years old. She was older than me, an older lady. Me and her met in a situation we became friends. And when I was writing about my life story, I would weep, like bitterly weep. And she came to me, she said, Arnelle, what is it you writing about that is so sad? So when I explained my story to her, that's how she told me that she was raped by her own uncle when she was 8 years old. And in 2018, October, my friend killed herself.
Okay, we say thank you, Lima, for joining us. Let's come to you. Let's come back to you, and now tell us now. There's a situation in Liberia, the issue of rape. You've been listening, observing what's going on, 3 days of protest. What's your own reaction? What has been your own reaction?
My own reaction has been just total sadness. Because yeah, there are a lot of people that are in the protest that is in it to fight against rape, but there are also people who are pedophiles and rapists part of the protest as well, and they are there to bring on seriousness with protest. You know, they are there to behave in a certain way that people shouldn't take the message serious. You get it? So as much as a lot of people they're standing up against rapists and against the act of rape, there are also rapists among those people wearing the same color, like wolf in sheep clothing. You know what I mean? Wearing those same color in black and saying they're protesting, but they are there to act disorderly. They are there to distract the protest. They are there to bring attention away, you know, to take attention away from the protest. So that is disheartening. Number two, police brutality on the citizen. Okay, police brutality is a no-no. First, all people are grieving the pain of the past. A lot of people there in the protest are rape victims, and they're grieving the pain of the past. Okay, there are people who family members been raped. They are grieving the pain of their family member past and even present. So for them to be out there protesting and wanting an answer from the nation, and then they are getting assaulted, physically, that is wrong. So I say shame to the police in Liberia who are going against a citizen and beating them up and dragging them. Like, how do you guys understand protest? Protest is a right to have answers from the government. So these people are coming out so they can have answers from the government. They are not getting answers, and then at the same time they are getting assaulted. And I say that's wrong. Truly, truly wrong, and I'm disappointed. And then another thing, okay, as leader of the country, President Weah, I don't know if you're ever gonna watch this, but if you do watch this, you need to communicate more with your people, okay? You cannot have friends doing these things for you. Being a leader, I understand leadership living in Canada, where I see when something happens, our prime minister, even the US, you see the president, like, for example, there were things happening where Obama will come to the scene, to show how sorry he is for what happened and what message can he send out there for things to change. So if you cannot be at the protest with the people, at least let the people hear your voice. Let them know that you're in solidarity with them, that you stand with them, that you stand against rape. But then again, a lot of time, I understand how some people can shy away from this topic or even be intimidated by the topic of rape. It's not an easy thing to even stand against rape. Standing against rape is one of the most difficult things, especially if a person has been a victim. So a lot of times you notice that people who have experienced it, they don't want to even come near the topic, okay? They don't want to touch it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear it. It's almost like they feel like if they don't hear it, they don't talk about it, they don't see it, that way their pain of their past can go away, okay? Because there are people that have also been victims, and all their life they swear never to let anybody else know. So when it comes to people saying, oh, let's stand against this, for them, it's like going to your closet and facing the skeleton that's in your closet. Facing that demon that haunts you and torments your life in your past. So for certain people to stand against the topic of rape, when they've also been a victim of rape, it can be such a challenging thing for them. Another thing, I'm not saying our country leader have had any experience with rape or is part of the rape, but I'm saying another reason why, even in Canada and the US and European land, when people are seeking justice on such things and people who are in power and leadership seems to ignore it, it's because a lot of times they themselves are involved, okay? You cannot tell a rogue to arrest another rogue. You cannot tell an armed robber to arrest another armed robber. Because the armed robber gonna say, my man, you arrested me. I said you not see before. We went to the mission. Like, you cannot get someone who's part of something to go against something. So a lot of times you see people who in power that will ignore such sensitive topic, such topic that matters to the nation, they will ignore it like it doesn't exist. It's because either they are victims or they are the predators. There's two reasons why. Either the person's a victim of what's going on, or they are the reason why these things are going on. So you can be a victim and you really want to deal with that topic because it reminds you of your past. It traumatizes you more, in your present life. So you feel like by ignoring the topic, by staying away from it, by not touching it, by not seeing it, by not hearing about it, but just keeping yourself in the dark protects you from that demon in your past that you have experienced this trauma as well. Whereas you got other people who are predators, who are rapists, and they will not want to go close to this topic to do any judgment when it comes to this topic, because at the end of the day, it will affect them. when the law has been passed. Because when the law has been passed and the law is enforced, people will be brave to speak out and say, this person did that to me. This is what happened to me. Now, if the law is passed and the law is enforced, that person, if the law is death penalty, that person feel if they support the death penalty, they are going to be killed when the law is enforced. So a lot of times, too, predators, people who are rapists will stay away from the topic too because they don't want to have anything to the decision making when it comes to punishment, because at the end of the day, that punishment will come back to haunt them.
Okay, so let's look at most people say this argument. What's your reaction? Most people say it's indecent dress code, poverty. We listen to gender minister. She said coronavirus because people are in the house. What's your own reaction to all of these? And also, there were a lot of protesters who were brutalized. As you see on the screen, police brutalizing a peaceful protester. What's your reaction to that? They also put in jail some youth who were also part of this gathering.
Well, I did communicate with a friend of mine in Liberia yesterday that said they were beat up by police. And I was just really disappointed. And even seeing the picture here where the police dragging that lady, like that is assault, okay? That is police brutality, and that's assault to that lady. You know, that lady can, if the law in Liberia was straight, that lady could press charges against those police officers, and they could lose their badge. Okay, look at that picture, so sad. They could lose their badge, and they could lose the right to become police. Being a police officer doesn't mean that you should abuse another person because you've been given power. Okay? Being a police officer does not give you the right to abuse. Being a police officer gives you the right to protect, to stand up against, you know? So that is really sad what's going on. And that's really disappointing. I'm really disappointed in the police. You cannot be treating people in such way. And when it comes to the gender minister, especially the fact that she's a woman, okay? A lot of people have this mentality that if it's not happening to me, it's not happening to my children, it's not happening to my mom, my cousin, my auntie, my my relative, I don't care. So it's that don't care attitude that will make some people don't stand up against you because they feel it didn't happen to them, so they don't care. And that is really, really sad. So when it comes to the gender minister, for her being a female, I want to believe that she should have a better understanding of the situation. She's a mother. I don't know if she's a mother, but if she's a mother, I mean, you got kids. What people get to realize is that whatever we do today, it will haunt us tomorrow. The Bible says the wickedness that man does live after them. Okay, the wickedness a man does live after them, meaning that what lives after you when you're gone is your children. And you know, a lot of times pastors don't preach for you to pray against that curse from your parents. For me, I've learned that on my own, so I pray to God and I say, whatever sin that my mom or dad has done, please God, let it not be my sin. I don't want to carry that burden for them. Let them carry their own sin and get punished for it. So the gender minister, being a mom, if she is, okay, she also understands that if she don't come out and speak against rape, though her kids are somewhere in the world, it could be in Liberia, they could be in Europe, America, or whatever, if she don't speak out, she has failed her children, she has failed her grandchildren, she has failed her great-grandchildren and her generations to come. They will look back in history and say, who had the power to stop this? And when they look back in history and realize that their great-great-great-grand, which were her, did not stand up against rape, and now their children are victims of rape because she did not stand up, she is going to be turning around more than 3-6 in her grave when she gets old and die, because at the end of the day, that sin, let me tell you something, when we die and God resurrects us during Armageddon, during the judgment, our life gets played back like a movie in front of us. Everything we've done wrong is played back. So she's going to be able to see, even though she's gone, but when she's resurrected, she's going to be able to see why she didn't stand up against rape and what are things that happened to her generations because she didn't stand up against rape. So I'm ashamed that she putting this on the COVID-19. A lot of people got jobs that they know nothing about, but they're just getting paid, okay? Because COVID-19 got nothing to do with rape. Like I said, my grandmother was raped by my grandfather. And you talking about when my grandmother was 14 years old and my grandfather was 20 or 25 years old, okay? So COVID-19 wasn't there then. So rape got nothing to do with COVID-19. The only reason why all of us around the world are starting to speak out and there's more awareness growing around the topic of rape is because of social media. Because everybody now have access to the internet and phones. So people are able to record these things, post about it, talk about it. So now there's more awareness. But it's been worse before and it's even worse now. Okay, so COVID-19 got nothing to do with the rape situation at such a higher level. It has nothing to do. So I'm ashamed that she got nothing to say on the topic, but to use COVID-19 as her only excuse as to why she's not doing anything to get justice for these kids. And shame on her because even me being here in Canada, my heart breaks. My husband said I always get so attached and emotional to other people's pain because other people's pain is my pain as well. Okay, I have gone through these things, so I know how those kids are gonna feel. Imagine that situation with a little girl that they tear her with razor blade. Like just one small cut on your finger hurts. Imagine someone go between your legs and tear you up with razor blade. That person do not even deserve to live for another second. I don't know. In Liberia, people are burning people when they go steal to get food to eat in the marketplaces. Why are not people burning rapists? Why are these rapists not getting burned? Let me tell you something. If the government in Liberia cannot do anything about the rape situation, and the protesting seems to not bring the attention to this situation, I think Liberians to take the law in their hand. If you catch a man raping a child, girl or boy, or raping a woman, or raping another man, you guys light his ass on fire. You already know with the police has no equipment when it comes to responding to cases right away. It's taking forever. So before the police can come rescue his ass is burnt down. And next one, neighbor that's also a rapist gonna see that and say, oh shit, they just burned my friend. Damn. I can't do that kind of shit because if I do it, that's me getting burnt in the street too. So if the government of Liberia cannot do anything when it comes to rape, cannot serve the country justice, cannot get these babies justice, I say the citizens be their own vigilantes. Okay? If y'all catch a man, don't call police for him. Y'all catch him in the act, red-handed. Y'all get the gasoline, the kerosene, y'all get the tire, y'all set his ass up.
Our laws against mob justice.
Our laws against mob justice, then you know what? That would be the people versus the government. And there's no way the government has more voice and more power over the nation itself because the nation is what got them there. The people of the nation is what got them in power. So
are you saying our leaders are not really taking keen attention in this thing? George, we have Pisota, Justice Ministry. We have Criminal Code E. It's just there for the prosecute rape cases, but the number of prosecution is so low.
You know, it's really sad, and it's really, really sad that when it comes to leadership, especially big leadership, we do not even properly investigate people before we give them power. In other Western and developed world, I mean, before you can become a prime minister of Canada, which is like a president, you will go through a lot of screening from your mental health to your physical health to everything else in your educational background. They will screen you in and they will send to you because they know that if they put you in position, anything you do affect the nation for 100 or more years to come. Okay, but a lot of the people in leadership in Liberia has not been screened. Okay, some of them, like people were being negative to Christmas City, and even saying, oh, he has PTSD because he was raped. But everybody see Christmas City because Christmas City talk about his rape experience, right? But what about those in leadership that do not speak about what happened to them in the past? Okay? Do you know that if you don't get connected with God and try to understand your situation, some victims can even become predators? Do you know that? It's like somebody did it to me, so I would do it to somebody. You know what I mean? Like some victims,
We call it paying debt. In like, right? We pay my debt.
so they pay it back, but they pay it back to the innocent, not to the one who did it to them. Do you get it? So they take that past aggression, instead of them giving it to the person that abused them, they would say, you know what? Say I was a boy or I was a girl and somebody did this to me, I would do it to everybody that I'm older than or has power over. I'm gonna do this to them so that I can feel some kind of justice. Do you get it? So some victims become predators too. And that's what people don't understand. So a lot of these people are not speaking out. It makes me ask a question, what really happened to them when they were growing up? That's the question we need. Instead of asking why they're not speaking out, we need to be asking the question, what happened to you when you were and growing up into becoming an adult?
Because we have heard lawmakers have been accused of rape. We have heard pastors have been accused of rape, and that level of punishment, they have some leverage in society. So maybe that's some of the issues protesters are about. Like, we need to make this law more harsh. We just heard a couple of people have been free in Laymah County and other areas on other stuff. So in Liberia. So what's your own way? How can we fix this thing? How can we? What should we do? Should we continue the protest in Liberia?
How can we fix it to get justice on rape in Liberia?
Yes.
Like I said, okay, if the government refuses to listen to the citizen, they refuse to do anything, you know, when it comes to getting justice for these kids, for these women, for these vulnerable men, if the government insists that they will not listen, I say that the protest should go on for complete 7 days. Okay? After that 7 days, if the president refuses to accept the petition,
the man said he could be busy. President Weah said he could be busy. He said somebody to accept the petition.
I've seen a lot of stuff happening in Liberia where the president should come on the radio or TV and speak out, and he never does. He just remains quiet. They say silent means concern. You know, so when you're being silent to things that are happening in such a negative way to your people, it becomes a concern to the nation. And first of all, Liberia have experienced war, so the nation has been traumatized already. So for us to not be at war, but now there's a crime against children and women and vulnerable men, and people in leadership are not saying anything, you know, to be against that. I find that as an issue. Okay, so if the people of Liberia listening to me, okay, y'all want to get the government to be busy. Y'all want to make them busy. I know how to make them busy. Okay, y'all protest for 7 days straight. Okay, y'all protest for 7 days straight, and if nothing is done, and if the president, y'all don't accept for him to send a representative to receive the petition, let himself come and receive that petition. If he refuses to receive the petition, Liberians, if you're listening to me, if the president refuses to accept the petition, I say after that 7 days, you guys start to put together community vigilantes. Y'all can make t-shirts that the vigilante is gonna wear, okay? And all these vigilantes need to be ID. Okay, they need to be ID, they need to have t-shirts, okay? And I say, if you guys catch a rapist in a community raping a child, you set his ass on fire, okay? Before the police come, he already burned. At the end of the day, when it start happening in so many, I'm not saying your year say, oh, the man raped me, your side is ass on fire. No, when your year say a man raped somebody, if y'all don't catch him in the act, y'all do proper investigation. Liberia will not invest in the true serum. There's a serum called the true serum. You can inject a person with that, but only the government officials, like the president can order that, and the justice minister can order that serum. It is available, on the Western world. Those serums are available when they're trying to interrogate you and you refuse to say the truth. They bring the truth serum and they inject you with it, and they start to interrogate you, all the truth come out. So if a child said I was raped, by this person, and they wasn't in the act of being raped, y'all have them arrested, and y'all demand that the government get the truth serum, y'all inject them with it, and y'all investigate them. When the truth come out, they get killed. If y'all catch a man in your community, right-handed, rape a child, the child is dead, bleeding, okay? Y'all do not call police. Y'all tie his ass up, y'all go get the matches, y'all go get a tire, y'all get a kerosene, y'all get a gasoline, y'all light his ass up. When you start doing it in other community, trust me, President George Weah in the Republic of Liberia will be forced to not come out and speak, because he will know that now the people themselves, they really need answers and they are tired. So if the president and the government refuse to listen to you and they refuse to sign a petition, they refuse to update the law so that the rape law is enforced, and that it's a drastic law, that is a death sentence, y'all take the law in your hand as community, but y'all create community vigilantes for every single community. It can be a small community, a large community. Y'all can get men and women who are vigilantes, okay? And that will also have an armed robbery too. Because if a community have a vigilantes that watch out at night, that take turns to watch out at night, then it's going to be nowhere the armed robbers going to be out there. Because they know that these vigilantes will then be getting the right to deal with them, And
let me just give this other information because since he's still on, he said we should light them up and burn them in Laymah County. On a serious note, in Laymah County, as you see on the screen here, this is Ezekiel James, a 28-year-old man who allegedly raped and sodomized a 4-year-old girl in Ganta, Laymah County. And that happened on August 19 this year. He said?
And he's still breathing?
He went to court. You see the court officers around him, and he was arrested, and he's currently in jail, eating some government food. And government providing him the food.
That's why I demand a protester to demand to protest to the jail that they release this guy in the custody. Let me tell you something about the people of the nation. The people of the nation is the most powerful people. Okay? They're more powerful than the government, because the government is just a handful of people. They're not good 1,000. So you're talking about millions of people going against 1,000 people. Do you think that 1,000 people can survive or stand against millions of people? No. Am I right?
It's debatable. It's debatable based on the strength.
So I suggest that the protesters go to the jailhouse and protest for this guy to be released into their custody. Okay, because this guy do not deserve another day to live. Because at the end of the day, the rapist gonna say, but what did they do to me? Said, just go jail me. I will go to jail. Just go sit down there. But if they see that they're getting killed, they will think twice before they rape another child. Okay? If they see they're getting killed, and it doesn't matter because rapists are not just regular men too. Rapists could be people in the military, people in the police, people in government. It could be anybody. A rapist could be a teacher, because there were times where when I was attending school in Liberia, when the teachers were harassing the children sexually. One a girl would be walking, you see the teacher would slap her butt or squeeze her tete. Sometimes she would say, hey, teacher, don't touch me, man. Hey, man, stop me, man. You know what I mean? So they got these predators everywhere. They're in the schools, they're at home, They're in the police, they're in the military, they're in the government, they're everywhere. Okay? So it doesn't matter what position you hold in the government or in the police or in the military, or it doesn't matter if you're a pastor, if you go against these things, the people of the nation should go against you. I'm waiting for you, Nathan.
Okay, okay. As you see, I'm trying to get a couple of pictures here to show. Like I show you a couple of rapists in Liberia. So if you look at, you made mention of pastors. You made mention of this is one of the pastor who in a Methodist pastor in is also currently in jail for rape, and so there are a lot of them.
You know, during the war in Liberia, these rebels were raping children, women, and babies. Now that the war is over, they cannot, because, and some of those rebels were raping children in front of their parents. You know what I mean? But now that the war is over, they cannot use that gun anymore. So they become sneaking, and then they're in the community raping the children again. So these things are something that they were doing during the war, that they got away with it. And now that we don't have a war, they want to continue doing it and get away with it. And there's no way they can get away with these things. So let me tell you something. Rape damage a child's life. Even if it happened once, it damaged a child's life forever. You contaminate their spirit and their soul and their life. They would take that image for the rest of their life. Imagine a little baby, 4 years old, getting sodomized by a man. And they arrest him. They didn't want the communities also speak up. The police not even also have the opportunity to touch that man, to put him in car with handcuffs. The communities also, even with police there, let the police shooting the civilians so we can see who they stand for. If they stand for the civilians or they stand for the rapists. Okay? The community allow them to take that man out of that community. He's supposed to get killed right there.
Let me just give some highlights on some of the rape story when we speak about the increase in rape. If you look at since this year, as I speak to you, we have reported a couple of stories. The first thing is we see that in Maryland County, a 38-year-old man allegedly raped an 11-year-old girl. That was in Maryland County in August 18. In Grand Caymar County in July of this year, Grand Caymar County, a 14-year-old rape survivor, she ended up making an SOS call because she was raped and she got impregnated by her classroom teacher in Grand Caymar County. We also go over to Grand Bassa County. A 55-year-old man rapes a 13-year-old girl in Grand Bassa County. So you see, and then now a pastor, a Methodist pastor, he's currently facing trial in Bond County. Our correspondent Tados reported that story. Now, interestingly, sadly, not interestingly, so it's so awful. This another stepfather who impregnated his own daughter is also being investigated. So we're still hearing the issue of rape and the story in Babalu County. I can go on naming. There are so many stories of rape. Babalu County, 15 years old. Rape a girl is used recently tear her vagina in Montserrat County. So rape is just like all over the country.
They are making rape in Liberia a tradition, because even when I used to live on the Oro in Liberia, I had a friend, I was in St. Teresa Convent, she was older, and the whole community in that Oro knew that our grandfather was the one that took her virginity, her own biological father. And it's not like she was living with her biological father and stepmom. She was living with her own biological mother and biological father. And the mother knew that the father took her daughter virginity, and this guy was sleeping with his daughter. It wasn't even in hiding. Everybody knew this. The girl even used to do abortion for her father. Can you imagine outside of this? If the guy see that even a boy want to say hi to his daughter, he will beat her up. If you just think that some guy in the area, yes, that somebody want his daughter, and she going to school to St. Teresa Convent, that guy will follow his daughter on the road while she waiting for taxi to go to school. He will go with a belt. Just because he hears that some guy want his daughter, he will follow her with a belt, get to the road, drag her home. She won't go to school that day because he will beat the crap out of her. There was one time I went to visit her and she came out of the shower, because she was my friend. She came out of the shower and she was rubbing lotion on her skin. She was naked. And the father walked in the bedroom. While I was there, I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? And the girl was like really comfortable. Like, this is a girl that had breasts, pubic hair, everything. I was really, really shocked. And then she said, oh, that's my dad. He always do it. So, but I was just really nervous. And this guy didn't even care that his daughter was butt naked. He was walking up and down the room looking for something, but he just wanted to show me that, he's able to see his daughter naked.
Okay, Arnelle, let's wrap up on this program. Thanks for having time with us. Tell us about your book. How can people get it?
So my book is called The Survivor Story of Arnelle, a girl from Africa. Now, my whole life story cannot fit in one book, so I made it a book series. So book one talked about when I was molested as a child and the war in Liberia. And then book two talk about when I got raped as a teenager. And then book three is going to talk about other parts of my life. Then book four, so it cannot be told in one book, and because it's such an emotional story, so I didn't want to overwhelm the readers. And I know a lot of time Liberians tend to drift away from the reading habits, but I want to encourage Liberians to take reading as the number one priority, because when you read, you extend your mentality, you extend the way you see life, and you cannot be easily misled if you're educated. And education is not just going to school. If you don't have money to go to school, you can educate yourself by reading books. So I want to encourage Liberians to take reading as a number one habit. Okay? Though everybody likes social media, but my story is very interesting, very sad, very emotional. It's also extremely raw. Okay? So you got to be prepared to read it. So my book is called The Survivor Story of Arnelle, a Girl from Africa. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, Kobo, Barnes and Noble, Smashword, Goodreads, Untitled Chapter, Apple Book, Pinterest. It's also on Indie Reader. And then I got a 4-star review for my first book on Indie Reader, which was very huge to get a 4-star, especially for your first book. So an Indie Reader said that my book is not just a great book, but a great book in all, for people who want to understand how to survive certain situations and including the war. So my book is also available on my website. It's www.keepinguparnelle.com. And I'm also on Instagram at keepinguparnelle.com. I got a page for my book. It's for 13,000 people on there. It's called The Survivor Story of Arnelle from Africa. And you can also contact me directly at Anil Cruz on Facebook.
Okay, thanks for appearing on this platform. We hope to invite you to talk more as we go about this rape situation. And also thank you for appearing on our news and on this Diaspora Talk, for saying what's going on, what went on in your life.
Thank you so much, Laymah. And tomorrow, which is Saturday, we are doing a live podcast on empowering Liberians. So there's a group on Facebook. It's called Empowering Liberians. So I think about 20 of us going to be coming together to speak against rape. It's going to be a topic that nobody want to miss. A lot of interesting topics. Each individual got a topic to discuss on that podcast. So I would encourage all Liberians to go look for Empowering Liberians, a group on Facebook, because tomorrow is an intense podcast on stand up against youth. So we're going to be live tomorrow on Empowering Liberians.
Thank you very much from Canada. Have a good night.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Okay, she's Arnelle Cruz, the author of the Survivor Story, A Girl from Africa. Arnelle Cruz, and she's been on our program, the Diaspora Talk, and we'll be discussing issues in Liberia, looking at rape. Arnelle was also raped in Liberia in the 90s, and she lived with the trauma, went to Canada, and she got counseling. So she's now telling her story. Her book is so interesting to read. I read her book, a couple of chapters, how she explained her life, how even in her house, how her family member was also molesting her, looking at her own way of life. So there is a need that if you have chance, go on Amazon. They just say the Anil Cruz, The Lives of Anil Cruz, A Girl from Africa. And you read that book, it helped to inspire you. So again, we say thanks for watching this program. Let us keep up the fight. We say thanks for all of your texts and comment on our live broadcast. And let's keep the spotlight on rape. On behalf of the lead presenter of this program, Cyrus Mangi, my name is Nathan Charles, asking you to ensure that rape is kicked out of Liberia, to expose rapists, because all across Liberia, from Grand Bassa to Bombing to Bapolu to Montserrat to Grand Kema County, we are hearing terrible stories. We are hearing terrible stories. And what we urge our government to do, we know that, hey, they are making effort, but we need this effort speedily. We need this effort speedily. We ask that people who are convicted of rape should have the days in court and persecuted and go through their penalty. We need to ensure that our people live in harmony. Also, we say the action on the Liberia National Police was not professional. We saw them, they beat up peaceful protesters. And interestingly, the police sent out a release looking at this picture, all of the video that's on social media. The police is telling us they arrested peaceful protesters. These are some of the young people who were standing out. The police is telling us that they did not use any force. See how this lady was dragged. See we call it cottage she's on, and she's being dragged. There is a video to that picture. And the police is telling us that there was no force. We say that's a blatant lie. Pictures say 1,000 words. Now, while you write all your statement, we need to be more professional. See how this other kid was scraped on the head. We saw women being beaten on upon, and so we cannot continue to put blind eye on this thing. There is a need that our government will listen to the president. There are a lot of argument that, okay, President Weah had time to watch people having protests on television. So he had the time to watch people having protests, calling on him to come and receive the petition on television. But he never had the time to come to them to accept their petition, but he sent a proxy. He did not cite security reasons for him not coming. He said he could be busy. And the word could, at the same time, when he said, I was watching you on TV. So there are a whole lot of things. So we need to ensure people who are advising our president, we need to advise him properly. There is a need. When the people speak, when the people have genuine concern, what is more important for a president in the country to be doing than to come and receive a petition from his people? What is so important that a president will be seeing thousands of people in the sun for 3 days, and he had in his heart, I will not do it. Proud stubbornness. We need to ensure that our people. We need like the orator said, there is a creeping tendency of violence. Because there are a lot of things that will happen in Liberia. It could not even be election, but these are things that pump up violence in Liberia. Arnelle said our peace is fragile. We need to secure, we need to maintain that peace. Every day in Liberia, we see protests. We saw in Bon County, babies lying on the ground, protesting, calling the government to act now. How long will it take government to get a DNA machine for people? We see a lot of millions and billions of dollars they are spending in the other thing. People are saying that, hey, government, we need this code to be open. We need this code to fast track cases that will serve as a deterrent. So let us keep the spotlight on rape. Let us continue. We applaud all of the campaigners. We applaud all of the people who has been fighting for rape to be harsher punishment in Liberia. And we say thanks. Have a good day. On behalf of the producer, presenter, KMTV, my name is Nathan Charles. On Monday, we will come with another fascinating production on the program. Better say you still follow our news. It comes on 8 p.m. Liberian time. Wherever you are, if you have some issues you want to appear on our platform, you just send us a message on KMTV Liberia. Send us a private message, and we'll be glad to listen to you. Or you send us an email, kmtvnewsroom@gmail.com. Again, kmtvnewsroom@gmail.com. And we'll be glad to call you on our platform for all to discuss. Let's keep the spotlight on rape. Rape is real, it do kill. Have a good night from my end. Bye bye.